Yes, people, and welcome back to the eye test. Of course, it's myself, CultureCams, joined by none other than Lyés Bouzidi. Listen, guys, this one is a bit of a different one. You know, it's the Ballon d'Or is coming up. You would have just seen the video about Vinny. But after that conversation, we were like, hold on. You know, we just had us thinking so much about different Ballon d'Or seasons. So we say, why not give you guys an episode about it? So this one is going to be about favorite Ballon d'Or seasons and what you think about when you think about the word Ballon d'Or. So first and foremost, let's just get it straight underway. When you think about the Ballon d'Or, what's that one season that pops up?
The one season that pops up. I have to be honest, it might be a little bit of recency bias, but it's one of my favorite Ballon d'Or seasons. That's Karim Benzema's Ballon d'Or season.
Oh, okay.
It's not the most like historical one. It's not the best season ever. I mean, it was a damn good season.
Yeah.
And also, it's at the forefront of my mind, but it was just so refreshing. Honestly, I actually love that season, bro.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I love Karim Benzema. I think
he's
such a brilliant footballer, and I always thought that he kind of got a lot of stick at times that he didn't really deserve. But for a player like that, kind of similar to what we were just talking about, Vinny, got it out the mud, like proved all the doubters wrong, like rose from the ashes and secured football's ultimate prize. I really love that season. Like what it meant for Benzema, what it meant for Real Madrid, kind of leading the revolution post-Cristiano, how influential he was in every single Champions League round from PSG to Chelsea to Man City to ultimately in the final against Liverpool. A lot of the time when it comes to the Ballon d'Or, there's a lot of dispute, debate, who deserves it, was he robbed, that's one of the Ballon d'Or seasons I genuinely believe, and I think most people would agree, there was no real conversation towards the end. Like Salah had a little shout at the beginning, and then Mane won AFCON, but towards the end of the year, everybody knew if Benzema doesn't win the Ballon d'Or, that's the robbery. So what it meant, how good the season was, and also because it's at the forefront of my mind, that's the one for me. But you know, a Ballon d'Or season that I often think about a lot, like, damn, it's a weird one. It's 06.
Okay.
It's 06 because one thing I always say about the Ballon d'Or, one reason it really annoys me sometimes is I just feel like the criteria is so vague.
Yeah.
Like different criteria for different winners. Like sometimes it's narrative that pushes it. Sometimes international success is what pushes it. Sometimes just damn output is what settles it. But 06 is such a weird one, right? Because obviously Fabio Cannavaro won it. And I actually think Buffon came second or third that year.
I think Zidane came in the top
in the
three.
Ballon d'Or, I think World Player of the Year was different. But if I look up the Ballon d'Or in 2006, it's a super weird one in terms of how it finished, who won it. Let me read it for you real quickly. The Ballon d'Or, Cannavaro won it. Buffon came second. Henry came third. Ronaldinho came fourth. And Zidane came fifth.
Okay.
And it's such a weird one, right? Because the best player of the club season, so back then, the Ballon d'Or is determined by calendar year. The last few seasons have been determined by season. But those days, this is the year 2006.
I even think they were very vague with that, bro.
Very vague, and that's why I'm going to explain
Even with that, I don't think they were doing it by calendar.
No, these days it was definitely calendar year.
They said it was, but I promise you they were vague about it, bro. They were vague about it.
I hear it, but anyways, let's go. So at the end of the 2006 club season, like 05-06, so the second half of 05-06 is technically what's being regarded here.
Yeah.
We would have all looked at that season and said, if the Ballon d'Or was decided now, Ronaldinho was the Ballon d'Or winner because he had just won La Liga, he had just won the Champions League.
Henry was crazy that year as well.
05-06 though,
they
didn't win the league.
He was in that burgundy kit.
But let's be real though, based on I think we all said Ronaldinho would have won it. Right?
That would have been my top two.
Ronaldinho would have been the winner.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would have really disputed that. He just came off an amazing season the year before, won the league a second year. Barca won the Champions League. He was crazy. Ronaldinho. And then the World Cup. And by the way, if you look at the other contenders who we're going to talk about, the other characters in this story, Zidane, it's his last year of professional football. He doesn't even play the second half of the season. Didn't have his best year for Real Madrid. The World Cup hasn't happened yet. He's not even in people's thoughts, right? Cannavaro would have won the league with Juventus, even though we would quickly find out that league was completely tainted. Juve are stripped. They get relegated. He's probably not really in people's minds at that point. Ditto of Buffon. And then the World Cup comes along, and Zidane has this incredible story. He's the king. He's the comeback kid. His last dance, drags France to the World Cup final, has the iconic performance of that entire year against Brazil. Before the World Cup final, people are probably thinking, oh, okay, if it's based on international play, Zidane, he was the best player at this tournament. And he was even awarded player of the tournament. He was awarded that even after the final. The final gets played out. Obviously, the headbutt comes into play. I think that basically killed his chances of the tournament.
Definitely.
Cannavaro was the constant, even though I don't even think he was Italy's best player. But regardless, one of their best players. He wins the Ballon d'Or. Ronaldinho has an awful tournament. Henry is just kind of present everywhere, so he comes third. But that's one of those ones that, for me, sums up how inconsistent and how vague the Ballon d'Or is. Yeah. Because what was the criteria for Cannavaro winning it? What was it?
It was literally just having a great performance at the World Cup.
But other guys had great performances, arguably greater than him.
Yeah, it was a weird one. I mean, I know Italy only conceded 2 goals that tournament.
Right, which is why Buffon and Cannavaro were
one was an own goal. One was Zidane's penalty.
I think an open play. I don't think they conceded a single goal. No.
Yeah, own goal and Zidane's penalty, I believe.
Which is crazy, by the way. I'm not saying Cannavaro shouldn't be nowhere near. That's crazy. He was the leader. He was
jumping out the gym in that one. He was. I don't know.
Buffon was like Superman.
Yeah, of course. But I still, obviously, I think 06 is one that goes there, and you're just thinking, that was a bit of a weird one. Do you know what I mean? Especially because it was a centre back as well. That makes it even more weird. Like if it was like, I don't know, Del Piero won it after a random year and won it, then it's like attacker. You still kind of be like, say he scored in the final or whatever. You can just be like, okay, we'll oversight, or like, I don't know, Thomas Muller or something. If someone like that won it, you'll just be like, okay, cool. But the fact that it was a centre back that won it in that year, and you look at the names that were just around him, like Henry, Zidane, it's kind of crazy. But even again, as you said, the stock that it put into it for that World Cup put into that year is incredible, because then you go 4 years later and the stock of a World Cup meant nothing when Messi scored no goals in the World Cup. It's
crazy, It just changed. And that year, bro, honestly, Ronaldinho took him. He went from, like I said, we probably all thought he was going to win it.
Yeah.
So he came fourth.
Yeah.
Like, he came fourth, 100 points behind, 100 votes behind Cannavaro because of how bad his World Cup was. It's crazy.
That's crazy. That is crazy. So again, that points to the inconsistency.
I grew up, my dad telling me stories. Cannavaro robbed the Ballon d'Or.
Nah. I mean, when I think about the Ballon d'Or, I have some seasons where I really like. I like Kaka's 2007. Yeah, I really liked that. You know what I mean? It just felt really different.
That for me is like a Benzema year, honestly.
Something felt different about it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like at that point you knew, as much as we knew, from 03, you knew Kaka as a top player. 05, he was good as well. You knew Kaka as a top player, but you kind of knew the hierarchy of best players in the world at that period, kind of. Ronaldinho's, obviously Zidane had just come off it, Henry's. And Kaka was, I'm not saying he came from nowhere. He didn't come from nowhere, but it was like an incredible emergence. Do you get where I'm coming from? It was like, bro, let's not see them days. People were talking about Frank Lampard's, Steven Gerrard's, Eto'o, Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry. These were like the common.
Don't forget as well too,
players,
right? At that point, that year, the way it finished, it was Kaka, Ronaldo, and Messi. Or it was Messi and Ronaldo. So Messi and Ronaldo were starting to slowly emerge. But I think a lot of people forget, bro. Cristiano Ronaldo could have won that Ballon d'Or. If you look at it, Ronaldo had an amazing season for United, winning them the league, Player of the Year, which Kaka didn't do in Serie A. Inter won it, and I'll never forget it. Even the way the commentary was speaking, the way the journals were speaking, that tie between United and Milan was expected to be what determines the Ballon d'Or winner. Whoever has the better tie, whoever progresses to the final, that's who wins it between Ronaldo and Kaka.
But you know what? I would say that I loved that season. That's that's like something I really like. But I think
off the way he did against United. That's like his Ballon d'Or moment.
Yes, I think
that moment right there where he headed it between Heinz and Evra, that won him the Ballon d'Or. Yeah,
I was gonna ask you this before I go into my one, actually, because you just went on there. Let me quickly pivot before I go into my one. What is the one moment of a Ballon d'Or? What is the one moment you have seen something happen and you have said that person's winning the Ballon d'Or?
There's a few moments.
What's your number one?
There's a few. Oh man!
Remember when Rio was with me saying Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or?
That one. People memed him, right? People memed him like crazy, but he was right. He was spitting. That one, Vinny the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. But no, what is the one moment you've had your Rio? What was the moment you had your Rio moment of saying Ballon d'Or when you saw it? I know mine.
The easy answer is Messi when he won the World Cup. I don't want to say that one.
Nah.
I think the moment for me.
I want to see if you're on the same. If you say what I'm about to say, we're too much on the same wavelength, bro.
Really?
Yeah, if you say what
Is it a recent one?
It's not really recent, but yeah.
I was going to... For me, the Ballon d'Or moment, I think it's probably when Messi put Boateng on his ass.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a big one. I think that moment right there, everyone knew, Messi's winning it, bro. Yeah.
Let me tell you my one. Ronaldo v Sweden.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
Ronaldo v Sweden. Yeah?
That won him the Ballon d'Or so much. FIFA moved the award back.
Bro, when Ronaldo did that against Sweden, because remember there was like Ribéry, and there was like, when he done that.
Yeah, you're right. You're spot on. You are spot on. That moment right there forced FIFA to postpone the voting like a week or two.
Literally,
bro. Not saying, they jinxed it for Ronaldo. They basically rigged it for Ronaldo. But it was like, this moment is so big. He just single-handedly brought Portugal to the World Cup. We got to reanalyze what we're thinking about it.
Incredible, especially because, you know how we talk about the Messi Mbappe World Cup final? Obviously, higher level, higher leverage. Yeah. That was unbelievable of like, Hermano v Hermano, like me v you, big dog v big dog. That was Zlatan versus Ronaldo in that moment. Yeah. Sweden versus Portugal. This isn't the Portugal that we maybe now see as a big nation. This is Portugal still trying to earn their rep. It was two kind of, let's say, not similar, kind of similar-ish nations. Zlatan got a brace. Ronaldo, bro, that hat trick.
Scored four.
Four! The manner in how he did that, was just incredible.
It felt like a moment.
It felt like the moment. And honestly, like...
No, that's the correct answer. Yeah, that's the correct answer.
That
because
was incredible.
I don't know if Ronaldo would have won it because he didn't have the most successful year trophies-wise. An amazing year individually. But there was a lot of talk about Ribéry, who had just won the UEFA Player of the Year. Obviously, Messi had a good year himself. I think that moment really gave severe leverage. Like it pushed Ronaldo really for the Ballon d'Or.
Ribéry will forever hate that moment for sure. I'm gonna say though, it's not my favorite necessarily Ballon d'Or, but when I think and I close my eyes and I think about Ballon d'Or, it has to be Messi's 2010-11, man. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
It just has to be. I always say it and I will repeat it forever. That's the highest peak of a football player you'll ever see. Ever. For me, 2010-11 Messi is the fakest player to exist, bro. Like, nah, bro, you can't be that quick. You can't dribble that well. You can't finish that good. You can't you can't interlink, create that well. How at that speed,
his athletics best.
At that speed that he was doing it, his train of thought, everything about him. He was honestly like what Larry Bird said about MJ. But I felt like I saw Jesus on the pitch, bro. That's genuinely what I thought, bro. This guy was on another planet. Like, you put that Messi up with Jordan, whatever Jordan you have in any sport, across any sport, you put the best of the best. You put that Messi with Muhammad Ali's. You put that Messi with the best of MJ, whoever, Tom Brady, whatever.
LeBron 2016. That's
listen,
Messi 2011.
That's Messi 2011. That is, and when you just talk about the Champions League final, that's the best performance you will ever see in a final. You will ever see 90 minutes. Not, that guy scored a hat-trick in a final. That guy scored 2 in a final. Yeah. I'm talking from when the referee does to the... Nah, you ain't seeing that. That is the highest level of player. So I have to say Messi's 2010-11 is the greatest Ballon d'Or and it's the peak of the greatest player of all time. So when I think about that, I just think about Messi,
I hear it.
Yeah,
I definitely hear it, man. Like everything he touched that year turned to gold. And like you said, the final was just like, in fact, you say it's the greatest final by a player. It's the greatest final by a team, I would say, in terms of just domination over 90 minutes. Like, I don't think any team has dominated another.
No.
Like Barca did against United in that final. No. The team is the greatest I've ever seen. The manager is arguably the greatest anyone has ever seen. It just felt like sporting perfection in that season, pinpointed by the greatest player of all time.
So okay, go on.
I was going to say, some other ones that I think of, I mean, I don't want to just name off every Ballon d'Or season, because some for me, like Modric 2018, I have to say that's not the greatest campaign I've ever seen.
I didn't want to be biased for Ronaldo 07-08. Obviously, that's a personal one for me, but I just wanted to give a different one as well. Personal favorite?
Yeah,
that will always be mine.
I was going to say, I think 05 Ronaldinho felt really, really special as well, too, because... Again, like you said, we had that era of Figo and Zidane and R9, and it felt like every Ballon d'Or winner, Owen, every Ballon d'Or winner was going to Real Madrid, and Real Madrid were building the Galacticos, and here comes this this skinny buck-toothed dude with long hair, and like Ronaldinho. He just made the game so fun, and I honestly, I just compare Ronaldinho to a meteorite in terms of like, he landed. It was incredible scenes, and then just like that, he was gone. Here today, gone tomorrow. Like you said. But that peak, 05 and then 06.
Don't play with him, bro.
Oh my God, man. That's also one of those ones, like, it's like a no-brainer, Ballon d'Or. Like, that level that Ronaldinho displayed for 2 years. I know he only won the Ballon d'Or, one of them, and I think he won World Player of the Year, 2 of them.
But he took over the world.
And you talk about like Ballon d'Or winning moments, and I think this one qualifies for it. The moment against Real Madrid at the
ovation.
That was in 05, right?
That was 04 or 05, yeah.
But so I think it was 05 or 06, but it was in 05. But it was in 05, so I counted for that. That's another one where you think, hand him the Ballon d'Or.
100%.
When Real Madrid's fans are giving you a standing ovation at their stadium,
100%.
That's the Ballon d'Or.
100%. You know what? Obviously, you were talking about the controversy around the Cannavaro one in 2006. And it had me thinking about, a lot of people, because I actually posted Thierry Henry's 20 assist season. I posted that 20 goals, 20 assists. And I posted because I was just looking at assists, right? Because I saw something say like, somebody could break Henry's assist record this season. I was like, you know what? Let me actually go and check because I'm very much onto people's assists. I was like, let me actually go and verify if Henry even had like legit assists in that season. Not one Fugazi assist, bro. Every single assist in that campaign, 2002, 2003, was legit. 1 touch finishes, 2 touch finishes. Max was Ljungberg against maybe it was Sunderland or something like that. Ljungberg took 3 touches for 1. And even then, Henry laid him off in the box. It was just his touch that made him not shoot first time. So that is like incredible. And I know that is a season that causes so much debate. I think that's the most spoken about in terms of controversy. Ballon d'Or ever in Pavel Nedved winning the Ballon d'Or. Now, listen, I'm just going to speak from my perspective. You guys in the comments, let me know what you guys think. But I remember the times of Nedved. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I watched every 90 minute of Nedved in the Serie A that season. But I remember living in them times and people were he was very much seen as one of the best midfielders in the world.
Of course.
Very much seen as one of the best midfielders in the world. He had a great campaign with they used to always come up on Eurosport and stuff. He had a great campaign with Juventus. First and foremost, 14 goals, 17 assists as a midfielder is great statistics, first and foremost, people. Whether you want to call him maybe an advanced forward, whatever it was, 14 goals, 17 assists is great, right? Secondly, as I said, he was seen as one of the best players. He got to the Champions League final. The only reason he probably did not win the Champions League final is because he was suspended. He couldn't make the final. And they went 0-0, arguably the most boring final of all time in AC Milan Juventus. Went to penalties and AC won. However, if he was there, hypothetically speaking, you would probably say that maybe he was going to win that game and Juventus were going to go. Yeah, I mean, he would have won the Ballon d'Or anyway. But he won the league as Juventus' best player. And he also got to the Champions League final as Juventus' best player.
Can I say this as well too, right? Because we talk about the Ballon d'Or, it's about moments, right? We always, like, no matter what you guys think, it's a narrative-based award as well too. You guys have to understand that the semifinal of the Champions League that year was between Real Madrid, who had taken Zidane off Juventus, and Nedved, and Juventus, who had replaced Zidane effectively with Nedved. And Nedved took over. I think I'm correct. That was a semifinal that year between Juventus and Real Madrid. Yeah, Nedved took over that semifinal, bro. Nedved is probably the leading force that knocked out Real Madrid and Zidane, leading Juve to the final. That's a moment right there when we talk about Kaka versus United and Messi versus... Like, that's a moment that right there people were probably thinking, hey, give me the Ballon d'Or, bro.
And the thing is,
Nedved just knocked out the Galacticos.
Yeah, and he's somehow become some kind of like Nedved, like people see him as a bum. I remember going into the 2004 Euros, and the reason why people even thought Czech Republic had a chance was because of Nedved. And they did end up getting to the semi-finals, the late or maybe quarters or semi-finals. Milan Baros was the top scorer. They had a good campaign, and a lot of that was because yes, they had someone called Pavel Nedved who was seen as the best midfielder in the world that season, which people seem to just completely disregard. Now let's go to Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry, 20 goals, 20 assists. Guys, and if there's only older heads watching, I promise you, those 20 assists are only spoken about this day and age. It was barely spoken about back then. That 20 assists is more spoken about now than the 20 assists were spoken about then. Honestly, that just felt like a normal day's work for Thierry Henry. Yeah. That's how good he was. Nobody was fixating on the assists the way we focus on assists now. It was not the same way. Henry, yes, is better than Nedved, and individually, if you're talking about as an individual, probably outperformed Nedved. But guys, let's actually put our thinking caps on. When the hell has a Ballon d'Or winner ever won the Ballon d'Or not getting out of the Champions League group stage? He did not win his major league title. He did not even get out of the Champions League group stage.
He won the FA
and
Cup.
Then he won the FA Cup, did not score in the semi-final, didn't score in the final. Like, this is the type of stuff that people clown guys now about. Let's keep it 100. Yeah. People clown Haaland for not scoring in semis and finals. Henry didn't score in the final. He didn't score in the semi. Did not win the Champions League. Didn't even get out of the Champions League group stage.
Here's the thing
did not win the league. Like,
the goals and assists thing is an incredible feat.
It's incredible.
But hold on, this is where also you need to actually like put yourself in that year. I'm even gonna bring up a whole nother point. The Ballon d'Or in 2003 is voted on the calendar year. Henry did not get 2020, or maybe he might have over the whole year. But that 2020 stat over a season, it doesn't apply to the Ballon d'Or of 2003 because it's only half of the 2002-03 season. It's only January to May. And you might be able to find out, I'm not sure, I haven't found out the stat, between January and December. Did he still register 2020? He might have, but that 2020 thing isn't applicable here. Yeah. Now, this is where I feel like all the anger is misfocused. I don't know if you want to continue talking about that, but this is where I feel like all the anger is misfocused because I don't believe Henry was robbed of the Ballon d'Or in 2003. I do believe he was robbed of the Ballon d'Or in 2004. That's what I think. And I always feel, we've talked about this a number of times, I always feel like people who consistently bash Nedved. Maybe it's because Shevchenko is a bigger name.
It is because Shevchenko is a bigger name.
But Henry had a better year than Shevchenko the next year.
Yeah, I know.
And Shevchenko had a worse year probably than both Nedved and Henry.
Yeah, he went invincible. The guy went invincible.
And he scored 30 plus goals.
He scored 30 goals. He went invincible. I think got like 9 assists or something like that. He was incredible. And listen, this is not to say that Henry didn't deserve anything. What it is to say is that the way people go on as if it's the biggest robbery in the history of robberies, I just think that needs to be debunked. Like, I am a true believer that from 01 to 06, on a median, Henry was the best player in the world. I think in a median. Not like if you're on the same pitch. I never think a day in my time that he was better than Zidane, right? Or Ronaldinho.
But you're thinking on average.
If you were talking about on his average from 01 to 06, Henry was probably the collective best player in the world.
He was so good for so many different seasons. Whereas Dino, 05, 06, 04, 05, yes, but not before.
Zidane had this and then didn't have that.
On R9 missed a lot of
100%. I think that, right?
That's fair.
I do think from 01 to 06, he was the best, right? But it doesn't mean that season he should have won the Ballon d'Or. Like, he had to be, that he was robbed. I promise you guys, and it may sound crazy to you guys because maybe you weren't, I'm not trying to put anyone, like, belittle anyone, but maybe because you weren't there or whatever, but it wasn't spoken about the way it's spoken about now, people. It wasn't, man. Like, that's the thing. Like, Henry, I think, as you just said, Lyés, should have got 2004. I think if you win your league, the way Thierry Henry played, invincible, I think you should be winning the Ballon d'Or that year. But let me say one more thing. Another major thing that people do not take into consideration is the way, if you have a good play season now, you mentioned Lautaro Martinez. If Lautaro Martinez has a great season now, he has to do above and beyond because he's playing in Serie A.
Yeah, it's true.
That was the case for the Prem.
Yeah.
Owen is an outlier. People still wonder how he did that, how he won that. You had to do above and beyond to get that recognition when you were in the Prem. The Prem really started getting its clout, and we still don't win Ballon d'Ors. Only Ronaldo did. Yeah. The Prem only started getting its clout really when Roman Abramovich and Chelsea emerged. Yeah. That's really when it did. The Serie A, up until the Juventus scandal, was seen as a better league than the Premier League. Mm-hmm. I mean, let me tell you that's part of why Nedved, Shevchenko are winning it. Henry would have had to go above and beyond to win it when playing in the Prem. These are factors that people completely don't think about now because we see the Prem as the best and blah, 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 blah. It's not necessarily the case, man.
Serie A was considered the top league.
Yes.
But realistically, if I look at the year 2004, okay, so now I gave you the stats. Because again, if you want to go achievements are very easy to read. 1,000%, and they're very important. But even if you want to go break down stats, like I said, Henry wasn't the top goal scorer in Europe. Like, he was outscored by a few guys. Didn't have the most, even though he had a lot of assists. But you look at 2004. The year 2004, so calendar year 2004, Henry had the most goals in Europe. Not even just in the Prem. The most goals in Europe. 11 more than Andrei Shevchenko in 2004. In terms of success, I'm trying to look it up now. I don't think Shevchenko won the cup. I don't think he won the cup.
I think he won the league.
He won the league, yes, but I don't think he won the Italian Cup. I'm trying to find that out right now.
I think that was the only thing they won.
Milan in 2003 and
I think they only won the Serie A.
I mean, I'll tell you right now. AC Milan 2003-04. Yeah, they came in the semifinals of the Coppa Italia. They won the UEFA Super Cup fairs because they had won the Champions League the year before. But then in the Champions League, they lost in the quarterfinals. You know how they lost?
Deportivo.
That's the year where they absolutely got humiliated, and Shevchenko was a no-show in the second leg.
Yep.
And again,
don't forget he missed 2 sitters.
On Henry, fair enough. He lost to Chelsea in the Cup, okay, in the Champions League, fair enough. Okay, but if you look at the 2 seasons in comparison, forget about Shevchenko versus Henry. Did Shevchenko have a better year that year than Lautaro did this year? I'm being dead serious.
Did he have a better year than Nedved the year before?
I'm being dead serious. Lautaro, this past year, had a more successful year than Andrei Shevchenko did. One of them won a Ballon d'Or. Yeah. If you say Lautaro deserves to win a Ballon d'Or this year, you'll be left out of any single room. Yeah. So this is where you have to add context. You have to apply nuance. You have to put yourself in that situation that year. But me personally, I agree with you 1,000%. And people are gonna. I'm sure Arsenal fans, if they see this, they're gonna be thinking these guys are taking the piss. You're rewriting history. I genuinely believe this with all my heart. I don't care if it's unpopular or not. Thierry Henry had more of a chance of winning the Ballon d'Or in 2004 than he did in 2003. And do not let social media narratives try and belittle Nedved or convince you that Henry was robbed. Like 2004, you could even argue Deco could have won the Ballon d'Or over Shevchenko.
100%.
Genuinely. Deco went to the Euro final in 2004.
And they won the Champions
League. I firmly believe all of that.
There's a lot of factors that as time goes on, some things age well, some things age badly. Nedved's rep has actually gotten worse for winning the Ballon d'Or than it was not winning. It's actually insane for someone that was such a good player at the time. Yeah. Henry, look, I do think at one point maybe he should have won a Ballon d'Or. As I said, 2004, I think that should have been Henry's crowning moment and he would have deserved it because of the level of player he is. And it's a shame that we don't get to speak about Henry as a Ballon d'Or winner. Same way with Iniesta, same way with Xavi, them type of players. But I just think people are kind of mixing things up. And I think that 2020, because we're such in a stats era, is a lot more gassed up now than it was at that point. Because I do remember, bro, that season, rude people, like, it's not all about goals because Henry was a performance man as well. But I just want to put into context. In 02-03, Van Nistelrooy scored 44 goals. He scored 10 in the Champions League. Yeah, he was the top scorer in the Champions League. Yeah. He got the Golden Boot for the Champions League. He got the Golden Boot in the Prem. And we won the league. Yeah. Like, and he was, I don't even know if he was in the top 10 for the Ballon d'Or. I don't even know where Van Nistelrooy was.
2003 Ballon d'Or.
So, honestly, it's like, I think people kind of forget that 44 goals, people. 44. It was only Mo Salah and Erling Haaland that, Erling Haaland surpassed it and Mo Salah equaled it.
Sixth.
Sixth in the Ballon d'Or.
Henry came second, actually.
Yeah. Henry came second, yeah. But I just think for that situation, there was a lot of factors, you know what I mean, that did stack up against Thierry Henry. But hey, we know what Henry's level is. And does he even really need a Ballon d'Or to cement himself? No, but it would have been nice. But 2004 Shevchenko, hey.
That's the one for me, bro.
Nedved saved your damn life, bro.
Hey, man, that's the one for me,
Nedved saved your damn life. Yeah. We might have been speaking about Shevchenko the way people speak about Nedved, bro, because he slid under the radar with that one. But we moved, man. We moved,
100%. Man. We got to give a shout out to Cristiano. We can't go the whole episode without talking about Cristiano because he's got the second most Ballon d'Ors in history. What's for you the crowning Ballon d'Or for him? Which one of the what is it, 4 or 5 that he has?
He's got 5.
I think he's got 5, right? So which of the 5 is for you the best one?
You know what? I wouldn't say it's his best one. Actually, you can argue it might even be his worst one. I was just speaking about it now about the 12-13. The 12-13 one, which he won over Ribéry. I wouldn't say that's his best Ballon d'Or, but I think that was a game-changing moment in Ronaldo's career. Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or in 2007, 2008, and it was looking crazy. It was like, wow, Ronaldo's here, you know? Then Messi won it in 08-09, beat us in the final. And that's when, of course, there was a little stuff about Ronaldo, Messi, but when we get into that final, 08-09, some people actually forget, again, you've got to be there to know United walked into that potentially the favourites.
They were the favourites, not potentially. They were the favourites.
We were the favourites. So
we were the holders, and Barca had just narrowly beat Chelsea by the most controversial way possible.
There we go. So we walked into it as the favourites, and it was then, I think, after that game, it really birthed Ronaldo versus Messi narrative. Yeah. And then obviously Ronaldo joins Real Madrid the season after. Messi wins 4 Ballon d'Ors straight, makes history, and you're just thinking, wow. And you saw when Ronaldo won that one in 12-13.
Was that when
you
he's
see
crying?
The emotional,
Yeah.
That's the one where he started crying because he put in the work. He put in so much. You know, you're at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
You haven't even won the Champions League yet. Ronaldo at some stages, even though he's scoring 60 a season, was getting boos at Real Madrid. And he's putting 60 a season. The work that he had to put in to win that one will always be, as a Ronaldo fanboy, will always be my favorite kind of Ronaldo moment. I just think that was so nice. And then for him to go and win the 3 of the next 4, that set him on his way.
Yeah.
That set him on his way. And so honestly, that's the one for me. Not his most vintage season, because some people might even say he didn't deserve it. Real Madrid won nothing that year. Ribery won everything. But for me, I just think that was the moment where I was just so happy for Cristiano, honestly, bro. So I would say that year. 12-13. 07-08, obviously, personal feeling. That's obviously going to be my favorite.
That's when I put him on the map.
But put him on the map, but the one to Messi dominate 4 years in a row. To come back and in, Ballon d'Or at one stage weren't they even? Weren't they 5-5 at a stage?
So Messi won 4 and then 15. Yeah, they were 5-5.
5-5.
Yeah.
Bro, he was 4-1 down.
Yeah.
Yo, Ronaldo was 4-1 down
crazy.
and got into 5-5. And obviously Messi went on, but man, incredible.
For me, it's the 16-17 one, bro. The one where they beat Juve and he was crazy in every single round, bro. And Real Madrid won the league. That's the one for me that, I can't lie, as a Messi fan, I started to think, like, I was watching Madrid on the corner of my house, like, I was watching what Ronaldo was doing, and this guy wasn't getting older. You know that one tweet about LeBron where it's like, LeBron's 32 years old, this bullshit can't keep going on any longer. I was looking at Ronaldo, I was like, hey, is this guy going to slow down, bro? What the fuck's going on? Bro, and just like the inevitability. Yeah, that's for me, like I said, the greatest Champions League campaign. Like that's the greatest the version of the greatest Champions League player ever. Yeah. That's Cristiano Ronaldo. If you want to say Messi at 11, for me 16-17 is Cristiano.
Best campaign ever.
And I'm just looking at this guy and the end where he's laughing with the trophy. I'm like, this guy's Thanos, bro. And then he lifts the Ballon d'Or at the end of the year. For me, that's the one. As a Messi fan, I was like, oh, I'm getting a little nervous, man. Like, I know my guy's the best player I've ever seen, but this guy might retire with 4 Ballon d'Ors. But like, we got to do something about this. I was so happy when he went to Juventus, bro. I was like, get this guy out of my mirror, bro.
That pained me.
But yeah, man, wow, so many great Champions League Ballon d'Or moments. Obviously, we're not around in the 90s and stuff like that, but if we have older viewers, let us know.
Yeah,
what was Stoichkov like in 94, man?
Did Laudrup ever win one?
Nah, he never won. Laudrup is like the Iniesta, man. Like, he ain't winning over these gunmen, bro.
Zidane's volley in the final.
Yeah. And then obviously the Ballon d'Or for a while was anti-South American. Like, not anti, but like a South American wasn't even eligible till 95 onwards. So yeah, let us know, guys. What's your favorite Ballon d'Or ever?
How can you not have a Man United player, the only Man United player you've ever seen win the Ballon d'Or?
And look
at but hold on. Forget Messi for a sec.
Yeah.
Think about the joy Ronaldo gave you in 07-08,
I'm a scoring guy, man. Honestly, you know how bitter I am still about the day Ronaldo left.
Yeah, I know, but
time heals all. But I'm still bitter about that. Bro, honestly,
you gotta think about the joy he gave us.
No, but
bro,
you know what, bro? It's. I'm telling you, I'm a bitter guy. It's not good. I'm a bad guy. Yeah, sure. I from the day I'll never forget the day where I was when I found out Ronaldo was leaving after he told us on Sky Sports he was staying.
I remember exactly where. Obviously, your situation would be different. So actually, I would like to hear yours. Last, before we go, I'd like to hear how yours was and different to mine.
Yeah.
We're in different time zones.
Yeah.
We're in different stages of life, actually.
Yeah.
I remember I was in English class. Yeah, just sitting there, just in English class. It's on my phone, And then I just get Manchester United accept 80 million for Cristiano Ronaldo. I promise you. I said, miss. I said, can I just quickly go to the toilet? I went to the toilet. So texting every single friend I know. Yo, Ronaldo's there. Ronaldo's even. I was in the boys' toilet and I was literally looking in the mirror. I was like this. In my school uniform, I was like this. I was like, nah. Then I went back into class. Then I just started telling my boys, yo, Ronaldo's leaving. And I was like, 80, but then at the time, bro, when I heard 80 million, it was the most mind-boggling money ever. Zidane was the transfer record, people, 45 million at the time. Basically, nearly doubled it.
Yeah.
I was like, Yo, and then after the heartbreak, because you go on Sky Sports, I rush home to get to Sky Sports. Sky Sports are now showing all of Ronaldo's best moments, when we won the Champions League, when we just won the league in 08-09, showing all of that. And they kept showing this one clip of him in the final when we lost against Barcelona in the white kit. Obviously,
yeah, I remember.
They kept showing that moment.
Yeah.
They keep showing
That's that moment where he was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, they keep showing that. And then I'm like getting emotional. Remember, guys, I'm young. I'm starting to get emotional. Like, damn. But then when I kept seeing record, they kept saying world record fee of 80 million.
They broke the record from the week before when
yes,
they signed Kaka.
So I then started thinking, first I thought the world of football was over. Kaka and Ronaldo, that same team.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, wait, we just received 80 million. I started going on teamtalk.com. I started going on teamtalk.com, goal.com.
You got your GM back.
Yeah. The Sun. I was on all these pages like, 80 mil.
We're going to spend 30 on Benzema.
Yeah.
40 here on Ribery.
Bro.
Bring me Xavi.
Bro, I was like, we are going to get the best.
Yeah.
We followed that up with Gabriel Obertan, Valencia, and Michael Owen, mate. Yeah. Have a nice day, bro.
Let me tell you where I was. I'll never forget this day for as long as I live. So every 2 summers, it would be every other summer, my family would go to Algeria. And I remember this so well. We are in our driveway, and my dad is packing the suitcases into his car. And you're talking about like, we have Sky Sports or whatever. We don't have any of that. I'm living in New York at this time. I don't have a phone. My dad is not on social media. He doesn't have a phone. We find out stuff if I log on to BBC Sport Football. I remember you go BBC, you go to the Sport tab, and you click football. I remember it so well.
Yeah.
There was that, and then back in the US, before ESPN FC, there was a thing called SoccerNet. I used ESPN FC. I used BBC Sport Football. I remember. And I remember I hadn't gone on it for a while. It's the season's done. I don't know why. Just stay with me here. And I remember I looked up right before we were about to leave. Cristiano Ronaldo goes to Real Madrid. I run out and my dad is bringing the suitcase. I'm like, Ronaldo's gone. He's like, yeah, it was coming, man. He probably just assumed it was coming. I was like, for me, it was just sinking in. I was like, we don't have Cristiano Ronaldo anymore. And I was like, I remember this clear as day. So we still have Rooney and Tevez, right? Dad looks at me. He's like, Tevez went to City already, bro. Bro, my whole world came crashing down. Because again, like I always tell people, I started watching United in 06. So my first years of football, 06, 07.
He was in 2010.
I said 2010. So what, 2009? I'm making this whole story up.
He just made it up, bro.
I'm making this whole story up. So bear with me. 06, 07, Prem. 07, 08, Prem and Champions League. 08, 09, Prem and Champions League final. All I know is success. And then I just got told that Cristiano's gone.
Yeah, Tevez.
And we had already lost Tevez. I'm thinking, bro, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. Like, what are we going to... You're thinking, we're going to buy. I'm just thinking, we're finished.
Yeah.
We're completely gone from that moment on. Because I remember I'd seen on YouTube the Ronaldo talking to Ronaldo on Sky Sport. And I was like, he's staying. We're good for another year. I stay. That's what you said. I stay. My whole world fell apart, bro. Yeah. From that moment on, I looked at Cristiano. I was like, you broke my... You know that scene from The Incredibles? Yeah. Where it's like, go home, buddy. Yeah. Go home. And then he's looking at his poster and he rips it down. I promise you that was me. Bro. I promise you from that moment on, time heals all wounds. Now, I look back at Ronaldo, what a career. But I promise you that was my villain origin story.
With Ronaldo, that one, it was mad because they asked him, you staying? And he's like...
They asked him. He told himself, are you staying? He's like, oh, come on, I stay.
I stay. Yeah, I stay.
And I'm a kid. I'm a kid at this point. I'm like, he's staying.
You're believing that. Yeah,
bro, that's like finding out the Tooth Fairy ain't real, bro.
And then we lose to Burnley first game of the season.
That was second, I think.
Are you sure?
First game was Birmingham, I think.
With Blake Volley.
Yeah.
I remember ranting to my brother because my brother was in uni these times.
Who missed the penalty? I think it was Carrick who missed the penalty that game.
Was it Carrick?
Yeah, I think it was Carrick.
Okay. I remember ranting to my brother about how, mate, we're finished now. Yeah. No Ronaldo.
No, bro, I'm telling you, at that point, I thought we were done.
Blah. Yo, that was funny. That was funny.
Rooney and Fergie, man, they kept us on their backs.
They kept us afloat, man. But yeah, man.
We tailed off a little bit.
Yeah, we can speak about random stuff all day long, man.
Anyways, let us know what's your favorite Ballon d'Or seasons. Give us to them in the comments. Shout out to BR, of course, for always powering this podcast on X, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.